It was the first time I have ever been 100% clear at a microscopic level. So not even under a microscope on the pathology report, zero signs of Crohn's disease.
Okay, Jessie, thank you so much for joining me today to do Where Are You Now? 2 years later, after you got your reversal surgery, it's been, what, 4 years since we started working together?
Yep. Between 3 and 4. Exactly. Yep.
4 years. It's 2025. It's been 2 years. We were so scared, so fearful. You'd have a stoma bag for the rest of your life. You'd never be able to get rid of it. Man, your case was tough. You had all those surgeries, extreme issues, but here you are now, 2 years post-surgery, kicking butt. Can you first let everyone know what you were diagnosed with, a few highlights of your experience with IBD?
Sure. I was diagnosed with Crohn's when I was 15. I'm 39 now. I was sick as a kid, got in remission from drugs, went off drugs, had a 12-year drug-free remission again, got sick again when I went to go have children. So went through IVF, and I think the hormones woke everything up. So had about a 6-year flare before I got to you guys. Countless meds. I think I failed 6 or 7 biologics, multiple surgeries, had ended up with an ostomy at that point. It was given as temporary, but all the doctors were telling me it was permanent and I needed to just accept that. And then I found you guys.
This has been an incredible story. Actually, your mom knew my mom and then connected us and was like, she's been through everything, nothing works, tried functional medicine diets and did every medication you could imagine. And surgeries like that, like you were bad in surgery a few days later. Yeah. And then multiple surgeries and just going to the best doctors in the country, spending $1 zillion trying to get good. I mean, you went through it and you had already had the surgery before we met. You had already been through all that before you and I met. And you would also, were just unsure of what to do, right? And, obviously skeptical. Can this really work? Can things really happen? And that was 4 years ago. We started working together. And one of the craziest things, how quickly we started seeing results? Because you were with the stoma bag, you were getting all these symptoms still.
Yes. I would say, honestly, food philosophy alone within the elemental diet shakes, I would say almost within 7 to 10 days, it was resolved.
Wow. I remember that. Like you hit me up, you were like, my energy's wet, because you couldn't even move. You were like so down, and we put you on things to help with ATP energy, mitochondria. We started working on drainage, anti-inflammatories. We started making sense of the food you ate and why. It wasn't just being gluten-free or dairy-free. We taught food philosophy. Guys, that's how we get free of a diet. We build a lifestyle that makes us happy and healthy and make sense of how food could be risky for us based on its underlying parameters of the food, right?
Psychology around food of this diet is a prison sentence and I don't want to do it. And what changed, my mind shifted so much with food philosophy of exactly what you say. I can look at a plate now and assess my risk. So instead of saying, oh, poor me, I can't eat that tomato because it has seeds in it, my life stinks. It was like, definitely don't want to eat. I don't want to feel like crap. So my mind changed.
Yeah, or I have to be, even though carnivore can be very helpful, I have to be carnivore to stay in remission or get the symptom relief. I have to be SCD friendly. I can't have white rice because they say that white rice is bad. I can't have that yogurt because it's not SCD friendly, or I can't do this because it's not on the fruitarian diet, or I have to be strict autoimmune protocol and I can't cheat on my diet or I'll flare. And we can get past that and we can assess the risk and we can rebuild our body and then have celebration meals. Have you had celebration meals over these last few years? And you've been okay.
Right. We have been fine.
and just so we'll get to the point here, what did your doctor say about your last colonoscopy?
It was the first time I have ever been 100% clear at a microscopic level. So not under a microscope on the pathology report, zero signs of Crohn's disease.
Wow. And they couldn't, first surgery, second surgery, third surgery, second biologic, fourth biologic, fifth biologic. They couldn't get those results.
Oh no, I had some of the best doctors in the country saying, this is never going to get better. You're too far gone. You need to remove your colon. You need to make your ostomy permanent. There's just nothing we can do. Your case is completely refractory. You'll never be able to heal. And I just didn't want to hear that. And I kept fighting and I found you guys and we've, shown that that's not true and that it is possible to heal.
Absolutely amazing. And so if you guys want to see her first story about a year ago, you can check the link below. We'll put that where she talked about where she was. This is a year later. And we were talking, even today, we were talking about some stuff we're going to do and what's next. You're always growing. You're always learning. We are still using Rinvoq, right? We're using Rinvoq just in case to keep it right. And so it's been the S.H.I.E.L.D program, our protocols, plus Rinvoq, that has got us these tremendous results. That you were even noticing some constipation. Doctor said, hey, let's go do a colonoscopy. And they said, nope, we think it's just maybe from all that scar tissue buildup or little bumps, and no signs of Crohn's. And you just got that colonoscopy in the short term. Yes?
Like a month ago.
Oh my God, 30 days ago. It's 2025, guys. This is unbelievable. And we spent, and just so you guys know, we spent a good year preparing you for the reversal, because if it didn't work, that was it. You were getting a permanent stoma. Your case was that severe.
Yeah.
And so we spent a long time, and we built you a plan when you got the stoma back. We were going to go elemental, and what protocols and what products we were using, and using natural types of herbal or immunomodulators and anti-inflammatories and mucosal healers, and treating underlying infections, H. pylori and other type of bacterial load. And I think a really big thing we did was really focus on your drainage pathways, because that is a massive underlying problem with IBD. And so you just got a colonoscopy, normal. Do you have any symptoms?
No, none.
And you're fully connected. You've been fully connected for 2 years now. And you had how many surgeries before? 4?
4 major. I mean, I've had probably 12 to 15 total, just 4 major where they were disconnecting and reconnecting, and ostomies, temporary ostomies. So yeah.
And guys, I don't want everyone to get scared that that's going to be you out there listening to Jessie's story. Look, if we have anything to do about it, you won't have to be as extreme. Me and Jessie's stories are both the extreme, and that's why we're so passionate about it, and that's why we're here. If we have anything to say about it, you won't have to go through this type of severe. But one of the things I love about her story is it's never too late. That's the big thing. 12 surgeries, 4 or 5 biologics, nothing's worked, years of your life. Mm-hmm. You're trying to raise your kids. I mean, and now it's been 2 years, no symptoms in 2 years, normal 1 to 2 bowel movements a day. You're just getting Rinvoq capsule, not even injections.
Oh, no infusions, no injections. I mean, I wake up every day and I'm like, is this a dream? I mean, how did I go from being so critically ill and thinking that was just the rest of my life to being back to totally healthy and the healthiest I've ever been, and happy and able to take care of my kids? It's amazing.
And it didn't happen overnight. Again, we worked together I remember we worked together for about a year, and then you took 6 months. You said, hey, Dane, give me 6 months. I'm going to do some stuff. I think it was 6 months to 12 months. Then we worked together for another year. Mm-hmm. And so, guys, I did work with Jessie specifically privately. I mean, with this case, I did work a lot one-on-one with her for those years to really micromanage, because it wasn't that we were getting fantastic results. It was just there was high risk if things went wrong. So we were really watching every stone. We were turning over every stone to make sure this went really well. One thing I want to bring up about your case, you were just talking about the role of trauma and actually working with someone on mental health.
It was a huge piece of it.
I think we so undervalue that. Like in our program, we have Rachel Turner with us. We do EFT tapping, all included in our S.H.I.E.L.D program. But
love Rachel.
Rachel's amazing, right? But we did the detoxes, we did the pathogens, the microbiome reset, we did all the cleanses. We really customized everything for you over a long period of time. Beyond that, how important was it for you to work on your mental, and what did that do for you? Because you didn't do that at first. It took you a long time to really dive into that. But what did it do for you?
Time to realize that was kind of the last piece of the puzzle, and that it was critical if I was going to not just get well, but stay well, that I had to address the trauma. I had to get my body out of that parasympathetic fight or flight state. I couldn't panic every time a symptom popped up, right? Because it was almost retraining my brain of like, look, healthy people have bathroom issues sometimes, It just because something comes up one day doesn't mean you're going back down a bad path. It's just you have the tools now to deal with it, right? Before it spirals. So it took me a long time to get there mentally, even to be able to walk into a doctor's office in a hospital and not feel the cortisol just pumping. So that was a huge part of it. And I think once I worked through that final piece, and that's what a lot of what I worked on when I had taken that break, I finally felt ready, and in my mind, I said, I can't do this surgery until I fully believe that I am healed, that you can be healed, that healing is possible, and that I have the tools and the knowledge and the confidence in myself as my own healer to get myself back on track if I falter again or if I start to have symptoms again. And I do, and we're doing great.
I love that. A big point I've always liked to say, I know I've done the best job I could possibly do when you can heal yourself better than I can heal you. You got to get that empowerment. I remember there's this one moment where you're like, Dane, I just need a month off from calls. because I need to feel okay in myself. I just need to say like, because even talking to your coach all the time is just like, what are we missing? What are we doing? It's like a paranoia.
Yeah.
So once you were that good, you were like, I just need to feel okay, and there's nothing I need to do. If I get a little bloat, if I go to the bathroom one extra time, it's, and I like to mention this also to people, like as a metaphor, that if two people walk into a bar or a restaurant and they both get a burger, fries, and a Coke, one has IBD and one doesn't, then they both go home and they both get bloating, gas, and diarrhea and urgency. The person without IBD goes, must have been something I ate, and forgets it. The person with IBD goes, oh my God, I'm flaring. Oh, the world's ending. Give me prednisone, call my doctor.
Yeah.
Right? And so we respond different to life experiences of what is a symptom of IBD and what is just a normal symptom in life.
Right. And that there is such a big mental component of that. And I think so much of, towards the end there, the reason that I was saying I needed that break was because it was almost training wheels at that point, right? So it was like,
yes.
Do it. I knew I could do it, but I had to ride without the training wheels for a while to feel confident that I could continue down a path without help, and I convinced myself of that. And
it worked out great. I remember I wrote you like 3 weeks later, you okay? And you're like, I'm great. Everything's perfect. My health's great. This is it. I'm in the sunshine. I'm being normal again. You were teaching your body that you're okay and that you're safe. Yes. And that's just you have to do that and walk in that and say, I'm no longer a sick person. I am a safe person. And I'm not going to let any kind of blimp affect that.
Nope.
And that was so huge. And it's been, again, years now. And I think a lot of people are wondering, they go, oh yeah, you get great. Can you stay great? Yes. And do you still use the principles of S.H.I.E.L.D. and food for life? So you look at food, you still use supplementation, because it's good for you. You know how to take care of your gut, and that also increases the likelihood that there's no problems, right? Yeah. So you're still using it, and it's now your knowledge, it's your plan.
And it's empowering. It's like, I know if I'm having, a bad week or there's something going on, like for me, elemental shakes are really great for my body responds really well to those. So I know sort of giving my body that rest and just sticking to shakes for a couple of days. We did them after the reversal for a long time.
Oh, yeah. We were very strict because we knew it was the best way to let that gut heal up from the damage, the cut.
Every once in a while, I just do it just because I feel better. I feel and I feel more stable. And it's just something now that, like you always say, is a tool in my toolbox that I have, that I feel confident knowing I can manage that myself. And I know when I need to do that instead of having to ask or rely on someone to tell me. So it's really empowering. And that was a huge.
That's one of the most important keys I want for everyone listening to Jessie's story here is don't just look for someone to help you hack the answer. Become the answer. Become empowered. When you're in the S.H.I.E.L.D. program, it's not my S.H.I.E.L.D. People say, oh, I joined your S.H.I.E.L.D. program. I said, no. It's your S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
It's your S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm training you how to build your custom plan, and then you are left for the rest of your life with these tools for your S.H.I.E.L.D. Mm-hmm. And forever. And when she says elemental shake, guys, she's talking about a custom whole food shake we made for her, utilizing certain types of soluble, even insoluble fibers, polyphenols, resistant starches, natural fats, antioxidants, things that can help regulate glucose, help with the natural bowel movement. Like as she's saying, she was saying before we got on, right, that those shakes could even help if you're feeling a little constipated. You'll use an elemental shake due to all the surgeries and everything that, boom, move it through. And then you've got super bioavailable food, very clean, easy to make, great for the kids as well. And you don't have to do cooking, cleaning. When the shake, there's so many benefits, right? It's one of my favorite things to customize for people. And I know that there are people out there being on this side of it. You thought the whole time you'd never get here. You heard online, you read about people healing with SCD, healing in programs, healing doing all this. Now you're on the other side of this, and you've been on the other side of this for years, and you were that person who was sick for freaking 10, 15 years, and nothing worked for you. What would be your piece of advice to those people out there who are sick, who've tried everything, who think nothing can work for them? What piece of hope and knowledge would you give to them?
I think you have to want it, but I think you also have to truly believe it. So whatever that motivation is for you, for me, a big part of that was my kids. And I know not everybody has kids, but you have to find that motivating factor. And for me, it was them. I was looking at these tiny, tiny little girls and I'm going, I've got to get better for them. And I've got to get better for them so that I can keep them well. And it was what I needed to push it. But just doing it wasn't enough. Again, I had to believe it. And there was a solid year or two of work before I got to the point where I did believe it and could believe it. And that still took work. That was a ton of mental ninjing of trying to, convince myself, trying to train my body when I would feel stressed. If a symptom did creep up, it's okay. Don't have to freak out. And I would go through periods where I would have to say that to myself. I would have to talk that to myself. Now it's subconscious, right? Like it's just a symptom might pop up and I'm like, fine, it's something I ate, right? You can just be more flippant about it. But it took a while to get there. So you've got to want it, you've got to find your motivation, and then you have to believe it. And I think that's the best way to get there.